Good, good. Does my hair look okay?
Yeah, looks good.
Because sometimes I see the pictures, I'm like, damn, wish somebody told me about my hair.
You just got to practice.
Can't even post it. Can't even post the picture.
It's real.
It's not a fashion show.
Yeah. You still understand everything. You having fun at left tackle?
I am. I'm enjoying it.
Obviously, you're next to Donovan on that line. What do you see from him? What do you like being next to him on that offensive line? And what does that do for you?
I would say, like, Donovan, since he's been here, like, he's a fast learner, and he's tough, and he's fast, and honestly, like, I tell him all the time, like, in the good and in the bad, like he's the type where he makes one mistake and then he never makes it again. Like, so I tell him all the time, like, I'm so glad you're over here because I can play and I'm not thinking about anything else except my job, because I know that he's going to be there, whether it's a runner, pass play, anything. So it's great.
You were in similar position. I mean, obviously you were playing out of position, but the second year guy in the program was a starter. I guess what does it take for that to? How do you solidify a job like that your second year in the program?
For me or for Donnie?
Just in general, like as a second-year offensive lineman, what does it kind of take to solidify a job?
Oh, I would say like the biggest thing, I guess for me, like my mindset going into my sophomore year was, okay, like everybody knows that I'm aggressive. Everybody knows how to put people on the ground, and as a freshman, that's cool. Like, you're putting people on the ground, you're driving people like they love to see that out of young linemen. But when you go into your sophomore year and you're looking to start, that's cool. We've seen that for a whole cycle. But now it's time for us to see technique and steps and progression and refining your tools and not just relying on your athleticism to take over, you know, because in those matchup situations, it's going to be the little things, the technique that's going to win it. So I would say for like all young linemen going into your second year, it's going to be the technique that's going to help you.
Was there any, I know you've been playing tackle your whole life, but after playing guard last year, was there any readjustment having to be back on that island?
I would say there was a period of readjustment, but I would say like I feel like that's the fun part because I'm continuing to, I took the tools I learned from tackle my freshman year and I took them to guard, and the fun things from guard I'm taking to tackle, so I would say it's just all encompassing development. So,
Paris, throughout your entire career, how much time have you spent at tackle?
Like
last year's the only time you probably played at guard, right?
Yes. I've never played guard until I got here. I would say, yeah.
So, I guess I'm thinking like you're not going to a new position; you're just going back to doing what you've always done.
Right. I would say the biggest switch was not the physical. I would say it was mental, because in order for me to be a great guard, I had to think like a great guard. I couldn't think like I'm a tackle, but I'm playing guard. You know what I mean? Because of X, Y, Z, you're not going to be able to compete. Versus I had to think, you know, I'm a guard now, you know? So now I guess I'm taking my mindset back until, you know, where I'm at right now.
So how does that compare? I know that you've only been out here for 7 practices in spring. How difficult was it to change all of that last year? And how does it compare to what you might be feeling now that you're back at tackle?
I would say that, that's a good question. Can you repeat that again?
Just, if last year was difficult to try and change your mentality and you were doing it for the short term, like how much more were you thinking how challenging was last year compared to maybe just how you feel through 7 practices doing something you've done your whole life?
I would say like I don't think about the guard mindset anymore the same way that last season. The only way for me to really focus in was to forget about the tackle mindset completely. Like, I never kept the tackle mindset in the back of my mind. I was always, I'm a guard. And then even, you know, when the Rose Bowl came around, everything, I'm a guard. Not, you know, ooh, the tackle's right around the corner, because that's when you start to slip up. You know, I had to fully be a part of the identity. So I would say the like mental shift, like I was still in that guard mindset until I was told, Paris, you're moving back to tackle. Then I was like, all right, cool. Switch gears, tackle. You know, so.
What kind of conversations did you have with Thayer about going back and forth, and what you get out of doing those things?
I would say like me and Thayer have had some great conversations with each other about it, because you know we were roommates in the hotels for all the games, so we had a lot of fun conversations. But we'd always talk about how we think that not only is this a great opportunity for us to put tape being, like a dual player at both positions and like across the offensive line, which is great, for your team, but also for the next level. But also, with him even being a fifth year, like we both agreed, like it helped us learn the offense a lot better, but also learn what your guard can give you and learn what you can't. Because when I was in high school, I pictured the guard can do anything that I need him to do on that play. And I went down to guard, and I'd tell DeJuan, sometimes I can't do that on that play. So now that I come back out to tackle, my communication with Donnie is so much better because now I know, like on my end, because I know what I can or can't expect, and I know how his technique is going to be on that play. So we're able to move better,
Do you feel you can play tackle better than you played guard last year? Do you feel just...
I think that this season would be the season I wanted to be at tackle, going back out there, just being in space.
Other than the obvious positional change, what's unique about this spring?
What is unique? I would say, I don't know, I guess the most unique thing is, I guess the way that I'm trying to take my mindset and is like, yes, this is my third season, but I mentally have to be able to accept the mistakes that I make along the way and have my mindset, okay, this is year one of left tackle. My first year was year one of right tackle, and then in the postseason I moved over to guard. All last season was my first season of guard, and now is my first season of left tackle. So I'm allowing myself to refresh my mind, It's year one, I'm learning and trying to, paint the picture. My mindset's being, I'm trying to paint the picture with little strokes. I'm not trying to rush the whole picture, So I guess that's my mindset on that.
So as you go through the growing pains of trying to get back to something that you certainly have done a lot of, but played guard a lot, in the last 12 plus months.
Right.
Who do you lean on? Whether it's a teammate or a coach or somebody that's not even in this facility, who do you lean on when you have tough moments?
I would say Coach Fry, Coach Mick, and Donovan Jackson. I would say those are the three people that I'm talking to the most, regardless of what's going on. If I need to bounce ideas off of, if I need some clarification, for anything like that.
You mentioned right tackle was where you were freshman year. Is right left, does it make a huge difference for you other than kind of the mental side of the game of what direction you're going?
I would say that the difference between right and left tackle is small, but I would say the feeling of when you're in that stance, there's definitely people who are more comfortable at left than at right. Versus at guard, I could have went left and right at guard each play, and it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know why, for some reason, not every guard can do that as comfortable. But I think it's because I'm in a three-point stance with a mindset, and I guess the feeling, your body feeling at left and right tackle are a little bit different. So I feel like when you switch sides, it does take a little bit to adjust.
Sure. Willie Anderson's a guy that you've really credited with being sort of a mentor, offensive line and off the field. What sort of conversations or advice did he give you when you were making the transition from tackle to guard last year? And then I imagine that you still talk with him frequently about this. So what sort of advice and conversations did you guys have last year and then this year when you're making the transition back?
I think, he sort of, his advice was basically similar to the mindset that I was already having. He sort of helped solidify that as just being in the moment of right now I am a guard. I can't, some people have been like, Paris, you play guard, but you're really a tackle playing guard versus, I'm a guard playing guard right now. I'm an offensive lineman, versus now he's helped me switch my mindset in terms of, hear the things I tackle. And now we're starting to go back to the. I'm starting to talk to him more about the techniques that I can do at tackle when I'm telling about the different situations I'm in. Because, you know, he knows everything, the coach, whether you're a center, guard, and tackle. But I feel like our conversations, especially when I'm at tackle, I'm able to say something. He's been in that exact situation at tackle in space, and he's able to relate to it, and then we can get it, talk about it.
I know, obviously, the goal is the NFL, so was he telling you, like, hey, this is going to be a good thing in the long run of the fact that you're going to be able to play on the inside and the outside now?
Yes.
What was that? What did he kind of tell you about that situation?
Yes. I mean, he definitely said that in the long run. It just shows flexibility and athleticism, because I know in the NFL you only travel with like 7 or 8 offensive linemen. So until you become that franchise tackle, if anything happens, you're going down a guard, you're going down a right tackle. So me having experience in multiple positions besides center, then I feel like that's going to help in the long run, especially in just understanding the offense now, like the combo blocks work together, how much help you're going to get.
Harris, you said you were excited to get back to left tackle. As you looked at this spring, what did you think this is the most important thing I have to accomplish this spring to be the best left tackle I can be this fall?
I would say I have a really, really, really long list of things that I want to accomplish in order to be the best left tackle that I can be. But I feel like the biggest thing the thing that's at the top is just for me to allow myself to take my time and to take advantage of all these practice days and to take advantage of all these reps. Because if I try to rush the process, become the best left tackle in the nation, miss practice, I'm gonna rush the picture and these days are gonna get away from me. So each day I have things that I write down, and those are the things that are my focus, and then next practice, check that off my list, and then after I accomplish that, to work on the consistency of that,
But that's the goal. It's not just that you want to be a good left tackle this fall. You want to be the best left tackle.
I want to be the best one. I want to be the best one.
That's my goal. Sure those are your words, not ours.
Yeah, that's a goal, but that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody says. But I want to go out and do that, and I want to show it to my teammates. I want to show it to the coaches. But the best left tackle is also the most consistent one.
How much does it help that you started last year? It wasn't at left tackle, but you've experienced games. This could be your first year starting if you hadn't made the move.
Right.
How much does that experience help, even at a slightly different position?
I would say just understanding the speed of the game. And I would say it's definitely going to make it slow down. As season went on, the game started to slow down. Because, even last year, I guess the biggest culture shock for me was, when we're running these stretch play, I'm like, wow, they're not just going to the sideline because they don't know the play. You know what I mean? So it kind of slowed it down, because in practice, defense knows exactly what we're doing. So I would say, just understanding how that goes, you're feeling out the long drives. I would say all that helps, Yeah. So none of that is going to be foreign to me,
Your daily list, where does that come from? Is it in conjunction with Coach Fry? Is it just you sit down and you go, all right, I added this last time, I want to add this? I mean, how does that work for us?
It's just a list that I have to myself, and then that's my mindset that I go in each practice with. And when I feel like I'm not hitting on that goal, then I talk to Coach Fry about it, and then we talk about it. And then now he knows that's where our mindset is. I haven't gone in and listed every single thing.
Yeah.
But once something is I'm not hitting that exactly how I want to, then I bounce it off of him and we take care of it.
Where did that concept come from, of having a list every day of check marks you wanted to hit? Where did that come from?
When I was in high school.
High school? And who fostered it with you? I mean,
me and my mom.
You and your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to write a book about it one day? No, I'm just messing.
I don't know, maybe.
What has Coach Fry brought, more than anything else, to this group that's different from Coach Stud? It's not slamming anybody. I'm just asking you what he has brought that you like so far.
I would say just the way that he's just been helping the young guys get along, and the way that he's been trying to, like, you know, even like there's little things in our room, like, you know, usually in the position room, like there's always the old guys in the front and the young guys in the back, versus now all the old guys are in the back and the young guys in the front are closer to the screen. That accountability is higher now because from from where the coach sits, you know, those are the first people you're seeing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like little things like that are cool.
And you personally, do you feel more? Are you in your spot now? Or, I mean, from a comfort level, do you feel like you're a left tackle? I mean, what is the sense in your, you know, in your heart?
I feel like
your brain?
that's a hard answer only because, like, I'm wherever I'm most comfortable. Where I'm going to eventually get most comfortable wherever the program needs me to be. That's what it's about. It's about like winning as Buckeyes. But I would say, like, you know, personally, like, yes, like I'm very comfortable at the left tackle. But at the same time, last year, it might have taken some time, but last year I got comfortable at right guard, you know? So I would say it doesn't really matter. I'm like eventually get comfortable whether it's anywhere, but I do feel definitely comfortable at left tackle.
Hey, Paris, I'm curious, did you see that mentality at all from Matthew Jones? Like in terms of, you know, doing whatever on the inside to, you know, best of, like, whatever's best for the team? Because, I mean, he showed a lot of versatility, whether it's playing either guard spot or being the backup center. Did you see that level, like, of, I don't know, the same attributes or whatever?
Yes, I feel like, you know, that is like a statement of our room. Like, I feel like we have guys that are willing to move around to, one, benefit the team, and to two, see the field, you know, because at the end of the day, yes, I came in with the mindset from high school, I'm going to come in Ohio State, I'm going to take over that tackle spot, and just, you know, and that's not how it went. But eventually, it's going to shift to, I'll play center if I got to. You know what I mean? I might not have the leverage because of my height, but that's what I'll do, and I feel like that's what our offensive line room is about, is playing where the team needs you to be, getting comfortable there, and then understanding that even if you're coming off from the sideline, you're still an asset. You know what I mean?
What have you seen out of Matthew Jones? Like, what leadership has he brought? What kind of personality has he brought to the room? What is he?
I would say one thing from this spring that I've noticed from Matt, that's definitely been a big, like, change, is that he's been a lot more. He's always been a leader through example. Like he's been that consistently. I would say his vocal leadership has started to really stand, because Matt's a guy where, you know, he doesn't really, he's gonna do the right thing, but he might not talk. You know, he might not talk. You know, he's cool like that. But I think his vocal leadership as a senior, I think he's in his 5th season now. So now being able to take that role as a more vocal leader, he's been starting to do that too.
Paris, with your line, I don't think anybody would have had a problem with any one of the guys who started last year. 5 starters across, everyone highly ranked, big-time player, right? But do you think in your mind that there's a chance this year's line is better because you have 2 true guards? I don't want to say better, more efficient, more productive, I guess?
I think that last year we had the best offensive line, but I also think that this year we have the best offensive line. But I think that's because my mindset is the now, you know? And each season you want to improve. I hope that next year this line is even better, you know what I mean? But I think right now, from to the gentleman that asked before, like, about the comfortableness, I would say I think that as far as talent goes and experience goes, both lines have that. But I think in terms of the comfortableness factor, in terms of like the rate of getting to that, might be a lot quicker than last year.
Last year, and even what Nick had started before and Thayer had started before, everyone being where they were, it was basically 5 first-time starters.
Right.
Nick had to move, Thayer moved inside, you moved inside,
right.
Luke had to start. I mean, there's a lot of things. How have you guys been able to just gel in this, what we believe now is the starting 5 that we've seen for the first 3 weeks of spring?
You could repeat that. I kind of lost my track.
How much different cohesion is there, knowing that these are our guys, this is going to be the starting 5, barring something crazy?
Yeah, I think just knowing that, and guys are still competing for spots, but I think just knowing that, you know, the 5 that we have now, like just having that group consistently up, I think there is a cohesion because I guess there's no process of thinking like, you know, is he going to switch here? Is he going to switch here? You know, we kind of know where we're at really early, you know.
How hard has it been with your mom moving to Atlanta?
It hasn't been that hard because, you know, she still finds a way to be in Columbus, you know, so still finds a way to be in Columbus. So it's been cool. So we've still been able to spend a lot of time together. So
that flight is just as long as the drive was to Cincinnati, right? So
yep, it is. It's not a bad drive, and it's a cheaper flight than from Buffalo to here, you know.
Paris, now that you're back at left tackle and stuff, and with the wealth of wide receivers, it's a very pass-heavy offense. They're the ones getting the dispense of the wealth, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
How important is it playing left tackle, knowing that you have a tight end that can block to give you that outside help? How important is that just in the functionality of an offense?
Oh, well, that's amazing to have, just having the tight ends we have, having Cade, having G and Joe, and these guys, Bennett, just being able to come off the edge, and these guys are hitting fearlessly, like especially Cade and G. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a defensive end, doesn't matter, they were rocking off the ball, and stuff like that. And then offense, we know we're going to pass a lot. It makes pass protection that much easier.
And when I talked to Cade, he was saying his mindset is to be able to put the guy on his back. How would you describe his blocking ability and just his mindset?
I would say his mindset it definitely correlates to what you see on the field.
Ryan and Kevin Wilson both said that you needed to work probably the most on just one-on-ones out on an island and stuff. How much do you take pride in being able to be in a one-on-one situation at left tackle and not really needing a tight end? You guys have a lot of tight ends, but they're not super experienced tight ends. Like, how much do you take pride, and how much do you want? What kind of level do you want to get to, where you're not going to need a tight end no matter who?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not like, it doesn't feel the same when you have a tight end with you. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, at least to me internally, like the intrinsic value of a successful pass play with a tight end chip or something, it just doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? So I honestly like the plays where there's no tight end that's chipping, because that's more work for me. You know, if that's a scheme that we have in a game on Saturday, okay, that's cool. But with me being able to go from being in that box that was at guard to being back at space, I value the reps that I get just one-on-one in space.
How confident do you feel right now on March 31st about your ability to be one-on-one tackle versus defensive end, any defensive end that you might go against?
I feel amazing about it. So,
do you feel like you still can get better there?
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like no
that's
matter
the
what,
exciting part. Like the exciting part is that I'm starting to understand it, and I'm starting to show that what exactly the coaches who want to see out of me in space. I'm starting to do that, and that's exciting because I know I'm nowhere close. I still have however many more practices. I still have time on my own to work on it. We still have the fall camp and everything. So I'm excited because I'm starting to show it. I'm starting to win my reps cleanly and still have things like, dang, I could have did this. And that's the best feeling for me, is when you win a rep outright and you didn't even do it exactly how you wanted to. You know what I mean? The problem starts when you think you have everything figured out and you don't. So as long as I'm finding things are correct, I'm having fun with it, you know?
There's a saying that you can... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The year that you spent at guard, did it make you a better run blocker now that you're moving out
Yes,
the left?
it
And
did.
in what ways are you seeing that right now?
It did. Just because everybody's lighter out on the ends, you know? I'm going against a 6 foot, 300-something pound dude from Tulsa, was like, 7,000 pounds in the middle. So when you go into defensive end, it's fun. So I would definitely say so.
So the matchups are easier, but do you feel like you're technically better at run blocking?
Yes, because I would say it requires, because of the technique, it doesn't matter. When I block you and I get low, you will always be lower than me, but just understand where my hands have to be, understanding how my feet have to be, that, how quick the 1-2 has to be, just understanding that and taking that to tackle and making it work.
I'll let you just assume you can block me. I'll just let that go.
I'm not going to put any assumptions that you you guys at guard hold a lot, but like there's a saying that you can get away with more holding at guard than you can at tackle because you're not on the outside. Was there a level of like, I need to clean it up a little bit as far as like making the move from guard to tackle, or is that not something you really think about? Because I imagine there is times where like at guard you can get away with a little bit more of a tug than you can at tackle.
I would say I don't think that's been my mindset about in terms of trying to clean it up because of things you get away with at tackle. I would say just I would say it's like there's two sides. Like some people say a guard is easier because he's right there. There's no space. But if you punch and you miss right away, there's no time to fix that mistake. Versus a tackle, you can get your hand swiped. You can do that all day, but you're in space. So I don't know. I feel like it's two different type of points of attack. Because if I try to punch you at my guard and you swim,
Please don't try to punch
the
me.
play's over. You know what I mean?
Please don't.
Yeah, the play's over. But versus you can keep going to tackle, but you have that space to deal with. So I mean, I feel like thinking about what I can get away with, something that's my mindset.
Do you feel any pressure moving out to left tackle? You've waited kind of a couple years for this opportunity, and you're going to play kind of a critical role?
I don't. If anything, I'm just excited because being the left tackle for CJ and all the receivers that we have, like we're gonna have that success on the perimeter. Travion being able to get the ball out, it's an exciting position to be in. So I wouldn't say I feel any pressure, but more so it's like a blessing and it's a fun opportunity I'm excited to have.
Just imagine the responsibilities for like you're going to be out on that island. Your responsibilities of being like CJ's like blind side is
right.
High or really high.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I wanted. So it's more so like I feel like it's hard to say. That's what you want. You come in, you want to be the left tackle for like the program. You understand the responsibilities. Like I feel like if that's what you want, and you get to that point, you should be excited about it. So.
Does it feel like being back home, being at left tackle?
It does. It does. It's fun. It's fun.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Harris.
2-point stance.
Harris, your first game at guard was in the playoff, right?
Yes, it was. It was Clemson. Yep. It was. That was like the